Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Hey, all right. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with my friend Nancy Javaras. Nancy from Nancy's Nutrition, Inc. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Casey?
I'm doing terrific. I always love when you come on. Let me tell the audience just a little bit about you. I mean,
Okay.
Nancy is an integrative health and weight loss coach and a specialist in digestion, detox, and weight loss. She is a corporate wellness speaker. And recently, in the past couple of years, you are a golden light healer, right? You
Yes.
got that, right? Okay.
Yep.
You help clients with their gut-brain connection and to detox heavy metals, toxins, toxic emotions. And you give your clients a roadmap for healing with organic food, with herbs, teas, supplements, essential oils, sound therapy, and many different lifestyle tips to detox and heal. Nancy, can you tell me what are some of the health concerns that you address in your practice?
Yes, anything to do with digestion. So anything to do with digesting foods or absorbing the nutrients. So constipation, diarrhea, gas, bloating, heartburn. So any of that. And then also IBS, ulcerative colitis, which I had for 19 years and I healed myself. And then also anything to do with the gut-brain connection. So a lot of people have anxiety today for the first time. They've never had it in their life. And there's a gut-brain connection there that I help people with so they can get rid of their anxiety, also depression. I'm not talking manic, but just a little bit of depression that can be helped. ADD, ADHD. So anything with autoimmune or hypothyroid or adrenals or fatigue, if people are exhausted all the time, or anybody that has poor sleep, or anybody that's bloating all the time and they just can't figure out why, or unexplained weight gain, where they're eating the same, still exercising the same, but they're gaining weight and they just can't figure out why. So I'm kind of a health detective like that. So
yeah, you are. Well, last time we were talking about one of your programs, but I know that you offer a lot of health coaching programs. Can you talk about that before we get back into what we were speaking of last time?
Oh, sure.
What are some of the different health coaching programs that you offer?
Sure. So I offer a 6-month health coaching program that I work with my clients one-on-one to find out what their individual concerns are and to help them and guide them on healing their body. And healing their gut. So that's my 6-month program, and it's one-on-one coaching. So we dive deep into everything in their life to heal them. And then I have a 1-month coaching program, and that's designed for people that want to jumpstart. They want to know what to do and guidance for 1 month, but then after that, they're going to be doing it on their own. So they just need a jump start, and then they're self-starters and they're on the road to recovery and they do it themselves. And then I also have a liver detox program that's been very, very popular. That's probably my most popular program because everybody has a liver and everybody needs to detox. So that's a 7-day program. And then and it's not for alcohol. I'm not an alcohol rehab center. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
It's for anybody that just wants to detox and cleanse their liver. So, because I've had a couple of calls and I don't want to get those calls.
Okay.
And then I have a heavy metal detox program to detox out like lead, mercury, arsenic, and things like that, any of the heavy metals. And then I have a skinny bride program for all those brides out there that would like to lose 5 or 10 pounds before their wedding day so they can look great on their wedding day. And then also have hormonal balance. So if they decide they do want to have children, that they can have children, by balancing their hormones. And then I have a root cause consult that's designed for people that have been everywhere and they absolutely are frustrated because they can't find out what is the root cause of their problem. Why can't they get well?
Right.
So I dive deep for 90 minutes about everything that's happened to them in their life, physically and emotionally. And then at the end, I meet with my angels too and get guidance on, okay, what's the best way to serve this person? And I give them a roadmap for healing. And then they can either work with me for the 6-month program or they can just do it themselves. So that's really great. But my 6-month program has really been great because that's been able to help people. There's a lot of people have poor gut health today, Casey.
Yeah.
And they just like never before in the world, And the reason is because there's so many toxins out there everywhere. And so our gut is being bombarded daily, with food being polluted, water, air, everything, so our gut is really taking a beating. And that's always been my specialty.
Yeah.
So I'm very busy with my 6-month healing program,
Okay. Yeah.
coaching program.
Yeah, let's talk about the 6-month health coaching program um, and healing the gut. Now, why is gut health so important?
Well, gut health is so important because it's affiliated with our immune system. So our immune response is actually the microbiome in our gut. So if we don't have enough good gut bacteria, then the immune system isn't going to fire out well. And so that's why it's really important to have a good gut and healthy microbiome, which is healthy bacteria in our gut. And most people don't have enough. I mean, the experts are saying that we should have 80 to 85% healthy, good gut healthy bacteria, the good microbes, but and then 10 to 20% neutral or bad, and that's a balanced microbiome. But today, people are way out of balance, and so they have way too many bad bacteria in their gut. But the gut affects weight too. It affects cravings. So if people in the audience have sugar cravings or simple carb cravings and they just can't stop eating sugar, or
Mhm.
they can't stop eating simple carbs, or they're addicted to sugar, or they're addicted to, that's showing that they have major bad bacteria in their gut that's actually making their brain crave that sugar or crave those simple carbs. So
Wow.
that's a red flag. Also, it can cause diabetes if people eat enough sugar over time, so it's really a concern. Plus, of course, the weight gain, weight gain, weight gain. You can't eat tons of sugar and expect everything's going to be fine.
Mhm.
So it affects weight, but it also affects mood. Our microbes in our body, in our gut, actually affect our mood, whether we're happy, whether we're sad, whether we're fearful. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So when we change our gut bacteria, we can actually and improve it, we can actually improve our mood. And also it can improve our brain function. So gut bacteria, the gut-brain connection is huge. And
Sounds
every day there's new research going out about it because our microbiome controls whether we're going to be obese or not. They've actually done studies in rats too and mice, and they've put very good bacteria in the GI tract of some mice and then not in others. And the others got nothing. And they had the same food, same water, same everything, and the ones that had the bad bacteria became obese
Oh my
and
God.
heavy. Yeah, within
Wow.
90 days. And the
90
other
days?
one within 90 days. And then the other ones stayed the normal weight. So it's really interesting. And then when they took those obese ones and implanted healthy, good bacteria into them, guess what? They lost the weight.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's so
It
interesting. It's
is.
called the Microbiome Project. So our microbiome determines our food choices, whether we're going to go for those simple carbs and fast food and junk food and sugar, or whether we're going to go for healthy choices. A lot of times our microbiome can tell our brain and give us cravings
Wow. So,
for poor food. And
so how?
mood, also our nervous system. The gut are called our second brain. The
Mhm.
reason it's called the second brain is because there's more nerve endings in our gut, Casey, than in our brain. I mean, there's more nerves in our gut than in our brain.
Wow.
So it's really connected with the nervous system, big time,
Yeah.
you know?
How?
Cravings, blood pressure. I mean, microbiome helps to regulate blood pressure, everything, cravings, mood. So you can see it's connect, and also the immune system. So that's why I'm so into the gut. I mean, I'm so into the gut because it saved my life by getting focused on healing my gut. I healed my body,
Yeah.
but it's connected to everything. So the
Gotcha.
gut is really important.
How about is our gut health connected to digestion?
Yes, it is. It definitely is because it will send signals on absorbing the nutrients from the food. So if we're good at absorbing the nutrients, then we're going to have energy. Our body's going to work well. We'll get the nutrition we need, which is why we're eating in the first place, is to get nutrients so we can have energy to have our heart work. Everything needs the energy from nutrients. So yes, it helps with digestion, absolutely. And the reverse is true too. If we don't have enough if we don't have a good gut, then we're not going to absorb those nutrients. And then we're going to feel tired. Our immune system is going to misfire, and we can get inflammation in the body. So that's why it's important.
Okay, and you mentioned that gut health and it connects with the immune system. Can you expand on that?
Yes, exactly. So just say there's just say there's an invader in the gut. For example, just say there's an infection. Somebody has an infection in their gut. The bacteria, the good bacteria in the gut will recognize, hey, they don't belong here. That's an infection. And it will activate our immune system to send a cytokine storm to go in there, the good army to go in there and get rid of it and kill it
Okay.
and send it to the liver to be processed and get it out of the body. So that's why the good bacteria, think of it like is the good army. Those are the good guys that are going to back us up and help us. They're like the Red Cross, they're coming in to help us, or the Marines, they're coming in to save us,
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, it's really important for our immune system. But if we don't have enough good bacteria, then our immune system will misfire and
Okay.
we'll get major inflammation.
Got it. You told us about the mice about that study, but can you talk more about how our gut health affects our weight and our ability to lose weight?
Absolutely. So for one thing is if we don't have good gut health, then we might not have good gut integrity, which means we could have leaky gut. And leaky gut is when there's holes or perforations in our gut wall. And so we can eat food and little particles of food can actually escape and go out into the body. And so if that happens, it causes major inflammation. So that's one thing. So if our gut bacteria is intact, that won't happen, you know? And
Mhm.
so that's why it's really important. The other thing, like I said, is cravings. If we have enough bad bacteria, it's going to make us crave sugar and it's going to make us crave food, period.
Mhm.
Even if we just had a full meal, like I know you said you love steak or steakhouses or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
but just say you have a great big steak,
Uh-huh.
what happens after you're done with the dinner? You're probably full, right?
Yeah.
You're full because a steak is tons of protein, tons of fat. It's
Right.
very, very filling meal. Plus, you probably have potatoes and maybe a
Yeah.
salad. So it's very filling.
Right. I don't
Yeah,
understand how
see,
people
I
eat
know you
dessert.
already. But yeah, so anyway, so eating that meal, if you have enough good gut bacteria, you're going to feel full after the meal. So you'll get signals saying, I'm full. I don't need to eat anymore.
Hmm.
I'm full. But if you don't have enough good gut bacteria, you don't get those signals.
Wow.
Not you, but anybody.
No, I know. I
But
know.
they don't get the signals saying I'm full. So somebody could have just finished a huge, 48-ounce steak
Right.
and they're still hungry and they still come home and they're eating, eating, eating still. So that's what can happen. So overeating and cravings and also the nutrient absorption that we talked about. If you don't get the nutrients from the food, you're still going to be hungry because your
Oh,
body's saying, I know I just ate this huge steak, but I'm starved.
right,
I'm
right.
still hungry. You see what I'm saying? So
And
you don't get that shut off signal that's shutting off saying, I am full. I don't need to eat anything else.
wow,
So
wow.
there's a lot of layers to that. So it's determining which layer, where's the problem. And
Mm,
that's where functional medicine, functional diagnostic tests come in handy to diagnose what's going on in the gut.
gotcha.
You know?
How about gut health versus our skin? Is there any connection between gut health and our skin?
Yes, that's what's so interesting. So I know we've talked previously about detox pathways,
Yeah.
for toxins. One of them is the colon, one of them is the kidneys, and one is the skin. So the skin is a detox pathway. So when we sweat, it's really healthy and it's actually the largest organ of our body is our skin. And we detox out toxins out of the skin because it's a detox pathway,
Mm,
right?
hmm.
So that's good. We
Yeah.
want to sweat, we want to get those toxins out. But it's also a two-way highway. So we also have toxins coming in through our skin.
Really?
So if our skin is touching things that it should not be touching, toxins, bacteria, parasites, microbes, all these different things that could be bad, they're absorbed right into our skin. And so it goes into our system, and guess what it goes to? The gut.
Wow.
And so it will affect our gut. And so the skin has information going back to our gut, from our gut outside our skin, and then also in. So there's a big gut skin connection that most people are totally unaware of. So I have had, the reason why I'm bringing it up today is I've had several clients lately that have had eczema, and eczema is very common right now, probably because people don't have enough good gut bacteria, or they've damaged it through certain things, either heavy metals or toxins. And then it's coming out, the toxin is coming out their skin, and they're winding up with real itchy, 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 irritated skin that just won't go away. And it can happen anywhere in the body, the head, the face, even the face, which is not fun when people have issues with their skin on their face, but it can happen anywhere the skin. And so people get really itchy, 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 and then they go to the doctor, and what do they get? They get a cortisol shot, or they get, steroids or something to block it, but which is anti-inflammatory, and it's a Band-Aid, but it doesn't get to the problem, which is in the gut.
I got you.
When you change the gut bacteria and boost up the good bacteria in the gut, all of a sudden the skin problem goes away. So that's like for eczema, rosacea, hives, itchy bumps, itchy skin, anything like that. That's the gut.
Wow.
Your body is sending a signal saying, hey, I have bad bacteria in my gut. I've got bad microbes. I'm trying to excrete it out the pathway of the skin. So there's a huge gut skin connection. And if you go to a dermatologist, they don't talk about this at all. They're just not trained in this at all.
Well,
So when I heal people's gut, their skin issues go away, and they're thrilled.
yeah. What are some ways that you help your clients improve their gut health and the gut skin connection you just talked about?
Right. Well, the first thing is they have to avoid the trigger foods, because there are certain foods that trigger an inflammatory response in the gut.
Like what?
So one of the biggest culprits is sugar.
Ah.
Sugar is a big culprit, because sugar is hidden in so many foods today. I mean, when I grew up, and I'm dating myself, sugar was not in spaghetti sauce. It just wasn't. No, it wasn't. But today, sugar's in everything. So if you buy foods in the middle aisles of the supermarket, you're getting sugar,
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be hidden under different names, but it's still sugar. So cutting out sugar is the first thing. And the second thing is trans fats, which are hydrogenated fats, things like Crisco, any fat that they've put hydrogen in it to make it have a longer shelf life, you don't want that. So any of those oils, like cottonseed oil, sometimes they do it with grapeseed oil. Corn oil is a big one. Avoid all corn oil because
That's
it's
bad.
genetically modified. Yeah, it has very bad trans fats. Soybean oil, same thing. It's GMO. So it's really bad. It has glyphosate, it has everything. So trans fats also can happen when people eat a steak or a burger and they grill it really black.
Oh
So
yeah.
they char grill it. That causes inflammation or inflammatory response in the body. So people should not be over barbecuing or over grilling their food. Don't eat things that are grilled really, really well or burned, because that charcoal on the outside of it is actually a trans fat and causes inflammation in the body and the gut. And then gluten, of course, I've talked about it so many times, but gluten is a very inflammatory food for the gut and the body. And it's that way for everyone. But we built in to have a recovery response in the gut after eating gluten. But most people, their recovery response just isn't there because it's just too exposed to just too much gluten today. And also grains. Grains are not good either. You got to avoid all grains when you're trying to heal the gut skin. And the other one is dairy. Dairy is very, very inflammatory for the skin and for eczema, rosacea. Dairy, gluten, sugar, trans fats, and grains should all be avoided.
Okay.
But the happy news, there are things that people can eat.
Yeah, what do you
And that
recommend?
would be to eat lots of berries. Yeah. So like organic berries, like organic raspberries, strawberries, blueberries are excellent, but they have to be organic. They have to be organic. And so berries are excellent. Also, sweet potatoes are excellent for healing the gut and the skin because they're loaded with beta carotene. And also they have the healthy fiber that feed the good microbes, feed the good bacteria in the gut. So it increases in population, which is great. And it also has B6 and it also has vitamin C. So those are great vitamins to help the gut too.
Mm,
And then ginger, I know I've talked about it before, but ginger is a power food for the gut. It lowers inflammation, it helps with digestion. It's really, really great. And then wild caught salmon has the healthy fats. So that's an excellent power food. That's really, really great. And especially make sure to eat the skin because the skin is the healthiest part.
mm,
And then another one would be cruciferous vegetables, like we've talked about, like broccoli, cauliflower, kale. Any of those are really, really, really good for the gut health and good for the skin.
right.
And then people get a beautiful skin and it doesn't itch and aggravate them. And it doesn't take that long. Well, depending upon where their gut health is. If they've had the problem for a really long time, then it will take longer. But if it's a recent problem, and they recently have skin issues or gut issues, it's much quicker to fix.
Hmm.
But so it can be even a matter of weeks, they can notice a difference with their skin. And it clears right up and the itching goes away. And then they healed it at the root cause, Casey,
Yeah,
instead of just putting some cream on the
like a
skin.
Band-Aid.
But yeah, it takes care of it part time for a short period of time, but then it's going to come back
Yeah.
because they didn't get to the root cause. It's the gut health. When you improve gut health, all of a sudden the skin health improves too. It's amazing.
Mm,
That gut skin connection, which I've never talked about before in the show or any radio show, is really, really important because a lot of people have itchy skin and they're aggravated about it and they're frustrated because it's really not going away.
hmm. I got you. And how about lifestyle tips?
Some lifestyle tips is one of the things is everybody has to get a really good night's sleep. Getting a good night's sleep is critical for the gut, the liver, and the body. Because at night, that's when our body is regenerating. We're thinking we're sleeping, which we are, but our body is regenerating. It's sloughing off old cells and rebuilding new cells. And that happens, so repair and renew of our cells happens at night. And that also happens in our gut. So our gut is busy working when we're sleeping and our liver is detoxing between 1 and 3 a.m. That's when it's processing all of those toxins that we've taken in during the day, processing them into a less toxic form, and then getting ready to have them excrete out of the body through the colon or the kidneys as soon as we wake up. So getting a good night's sleep is critical. So what should they do? Avoid watching the news 1 to 2 hours before they go to bed. I know we're on a news channel. Watch the morning show with Casey and yeah, because you want to be in a happy frame of mind. And of
Right.
course, well, my news is happy news, but not all news is happy.
Yeah,
So
it's so
yeah,
true.
so that's one thing. And also there's a light factor to avoid blue light 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. Because when people are looking at their cell phones or iPads or computers or TVs, they're getting blue light into their eyes, and that's telling them to wake up.
Uh,
And so it blocks the production of melatonin in the body. So that's why people should shut off all technology an hour or two before they're getting ready for bed
hmm.
and sleep in a very, 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 very dark room with no light coming in. Because if there's lights or even night lights or even a digital clock, that's waking up your body saying it's time to wake up. So and I do offer on my website melatonin if that's not enough, because sometimes people aren't producing enough melatonin in their body.
Hmm.
And so getting a good night's sleep is critical. And the other thing is getting enough purified water. Most people don't drink enough water, and water is critical for the skin. So have you ever seen people that have really tons of wrinkles all over their skin? Probably either A, they haven't drank enough water in their life, so they're very dehydrated, or they haven't taken enough good quality vitamins in their life, or they've had way too much sun, or all three.
Yeah.
But everyone wants to look good. Everybody wants to feel good and have healthy skin and healthy gut. And being hydrated is the number one thing to do.
I see.
For sure. So that's
Verified.
very important. And staying away from Wi-Fi when you go to sleep. Shut off the Wi-Fi router when you go to bed. Because Wi-Fi, that EMFs, there's all kinds of studies, people can research it. EMF, the electromagnetic field, interrupts our autonomic nervous system. And that keeps us in fight or flight instead of being in the rest and digest, which is where we have to be at night. So there's a lot of things to think about, but I have all my protocols for my clients. I give them to them. I explain them. We go over them one by one.
Nancy, can you tell us how to get a hold of you? Because we're out of time here. Where do people find you, and how can they get involved? It's great information, as always.
Great. Thank you. If people call me at 508-527-4149, again, that's 508-527-4149, or they can check out my website, healthandweightlosscoach.com. That's health and A-N-D, weightlosscoach.com. Or come visit me and hear me talk at the New Life Expo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Saturday at 1 p.m. I'll be there all weekend at the New Life Expo at the Broward Convention Center. Come down to the New Life Expo and hear me talk on liver detox, cleaning out your liver so you can have a happy, healthy life.
Awesome. Nancy, you're the best. Guys, the one and only Nancy Javaras. Thank you, Nancy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.